everyone. Good evening, and welcome to your Sunday Tonic conversation with the Love Crusader. We are back with the powerful topic we started last week, and we'll try to see how we can conclude the topic this week. It's really a big, big one, and I hope that we can be able to actually finish. If you're coming across this platform for the first time, it's called Conversation with a Love Crusader. It's a platform where we talk about love, we talk about life and relationships, all in a fun manner. Yeah, so you see us, we'll have a good laugh and just enjoy ourselves in the next 1 hour while learning. All right, you can find us on YouTube. We are at Men Fences TV on YouTube. Please subscribe, click on the notification bell so that you know once we are live to join us. And we are on Facebook at Men Fences. We are on Instagram at menfences_love, on TikTok at menfences_love. All right, so we started talking about love and singlehood last week, and I must confess, it's been one of our most engaging topic and our most engaging conversation since the beginning of the year. Lots and lots of responses, lots of questions, lots of feedback, lots of people coming out to say, I want a relationship. Now I want to start the matchmaking business. It is time.
Long overdue.
I'm getting brothers and sisters sending us WhatsApp messages to say, me, I want to marry you. I'm not one of those who want to stay single. And as we delve more into the topic, you understand why these people are reaching out and saying, I want to marry you. I want to marry. All right, marriage is a beautiful thing. We said so last week, and we everyone or many desire it, but not everyone gets to do it. And some are in the journey before the marriage. Some don't even feel like they're even in the journey at all. It's like the thing is so far from them. But wherever you are and whatever the stage that you found yourself in the process of singlehood, this is your conversation. This is how we want to, include you in the conversation. Last week we talked about the fact that some people are single by choice, some people are single by happenings. Yeah, I think those were the two categories that we grouped people. There are those who don't want to marry, and there are those who want to marry, but it has not happened for them. So we want to continue to say, today, what if I don't want to marry? What if I'm in that category of I don't want to marry? Must everybody marry? We tried to answer that question last week, and Emmanuel and Mashudu were able to tell us that yes, everyone can marry, but not everyone will marry. And someone said that's a hard truth. Mama, that's a hard truth. You are breaking our hearts. Okay, I'm going to allow those in the studio today to give me their view on that first before we kick into the main topic. What do you think? Oh, I've not done the introductions. Look at me. Barrister Yomi is joining us from Lagos State, Nigeria, and she is in the studio. She's my friend. She's been here before. I always tell people she's a special friend. She holds a special spot in my heart. And very soon you understand why she's here. She's single. You will soon know whether it's by choice or by happenings. Frank, why are you running? Frank has disappeared just when I'm trying to introduce him. All right. Franklin is also not a visitor to the studio. He's been with us before. I guess he's having network issues and will come back and join us. We really wanted to hear from a bachelor because last week we had a spinster on the show. Okay, let's start. Titilaya is here. But do I need to introduce Titi? She's the mama now. She's the mama of the show. All right, welcome everyone. Let's kick in because before we know it, our 1 hour is gone. Do we agree with the assertion that everyone can marry, but not everyone will marry? Yomi?
Okay, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, all right, great. Good evening, and thank you very much for having me here again tonight. Everyone can marry, but not everyone will. I think that's a factual statement. Yes, everyone can marry, but the question is, if everybody does not marry, why do they decide not to marry? But I think it's a factual statement. Yes, everybody can marry, but not everybody will. And I mean, there will be varying reasons for why people will not marry, whether um, out of choice not to marry, or out of choice of not finding someone to marry. So, but yeah, I agree with the assertion. Yes.
Okay. Um, Sister Titi, before Franklin settles in, do you agree with that assertion too? Tell us, Titi. Do you agree that everyone can marry, but not everyone will marry?
Yeah, I think I quite agree.
You do. Okay, so how are we going to know those who will not marry? Don't worry, I didn't ask it.
I,
I'm not saying you should answer that. How do I know if I'm one of those who will not marry? That's what someone asked me last week. I did not answer. How do I know if I am one of those who will not marry? Okay, let's come back to Franklin. Welcome, Franklin.
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, and we hope your network is stable enough.
Well, yeah, I think for now.
All right. So
Yeah.
we've said last week we came to a conclusion that everyone can marry, but not everyone will marry. So do
Mhm.
you agree with that statement?
Well, true, true. I honestly agree. Being that you know, it's a hard truth, but yeah, some people would definitely not get married. But yeah, it's such a hard truth to to take in. But yes, yeah.
Especially, I think for someone who is single. So
Yeah.
someone asked me last week to say, so how do I know if I'm one of those who will not marry? So that's the question people need to help me answer. Titi, you are muted. So how will
I was
someone
saying,
know?
why is it hard? Why? Yeah, is a truth, but why is it a hard truth? Because I feel that everyone that desires to be married and makes the right choices would get married. So if you choose to not marry, it's by choice. It's not it shouldn't be a hard thing, is what I'm saying. If you desire to be married and make the right choices, you would get married. Now, it may not be in your time, it may not be the way you expect it to be, but you would eventually get married. So why
Mm,
should it be hard? We are saying it like
really?
some people would desire to be married, but they would never get married. I mean,
Yeah, but that is the
I don't
truth.
think it
What
should
do you
be
think?
hard.
Is it everyone who really desires to be married that will be married?
I think
No,
I agree with City.
I'm saying it's a combination of desire and right choices.
Action.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
Eh.
sense.
What if the right person is not coming now? I want to marry, especially if I'm a lady and an African lady for that matter, who you people know now. We've not graduated to the level of going to ask the guy out. We're still traditionalists as Africans. So and nobody's coming to marry me, or I mean, I know of a particular lady where a case where the guys come around when they are dating, everything is fine. But when you're expecting the relationship to get serious, the guy will just go away. And this sister is there. She's wishing, she's doing the right thing. She's putting herself out there. She's praying, she's fasting, she's
Is she
doing
now?
good.
Is she doing the right thing? That's the
But the
question.
husband is not coming. I'm telling you these things. I've seen them. What do you people think?
Okay,
Franklin.
so
Okay, Yomi, let Yomi talk.
I,
um, I agree with City to the extent that if you want to get married, you will get married. Now, the question is, when you ask a lot of people, what they want in the person they want to marry, they most likely cannot give you an answer. They can tell you what they don't want. They can tell you they don't want a guy who cheats. But not wanting a guy who cheats is not the same thing as wanting a guy who is faithful.
Hmm.
It sounds like it's an opposite, it's a word and opposite, but it's not.
Hmm.
So a lot of people know what they don't want, but then when you ask them what do they want, they don't know.
Hmm.
So even the person, the universe and God that is supposed to bring this person your way, he does not know who to bring your way because he does not know who you want.
Hmm.
So if, for example, there's a genie that is standing in front of someone, a single lady, a single guy, and the genie is rubbing his hands and saying, I am at your command. Give me the word. What do you want in the man that you want to marry? Or what do you want in the woman that you want to marry?
Hmm.
And then you begin to say, oh, I don't want a man who cheats. I don't want a man who does not have money. I don't want a man. But what do you want? And I've found that people find it easier to say what they don't want than what they want. And I think it's because they have not given enough thought to who and what they actually want in the person they want to spend the rest of their life with.
Hmm.
So, of course, it's not a difficult thing to get married. Everybody can get married. But then the question is, will you? The Bible also says that faith without actions is dead. So you believe that, yes, I want to get married,
Hmm.
but you don't know who you want. You don't know when you want to marry. You don't know the kind of person you want to marry. So, what are the actions? What are the steps that you're taking? And then you're in your house all day. You are not interacting with anybody. You don't go out. You don't have friends. But you tell yourself, I want to get married.
Hmm.
Uh, my darling, it's not going to fall on you. So it's not that difficult, to be honest. I think
Hugging you
if
from
you
there.
want to, eh,
She said she's hugging you from there. You can see how long her hands are.
I'm hugging you right back. So I honestly, I think that's it. To be honest.
Okay, okay. I'm not going to dispute that because I'll tell you one very short story soon. But oh, Frank, I don't like the way your network is appearing and reappearing on us. I want Frank to tell us as a guy what he thinks about this. But okay, before Frank comes back, just last week I experienced what you're talking about. Like I said, we've got a lot of
It's even
traction.
easier for the guys. If they want
Wait,
to marry, they
let
will
me give
marry.
you gist. We've got a lot of traction, lots of traction on this topic. Is the most commented, is the most I've gotten. Like we have a WhatsApp number connected to our Facebook page, and people send messages and all. It's the topic that I've gotten the most message about this year. And someone said to me, I really need a relationship. Beautiful girl from her status and the picture I saw, and everything. And so I was like, tell me about yourself. And then she gave me these two sentence words, and that was the end. Like, is this all about you? All right. So I tried to poke more. And I said, what kind of man do you want? And she just said, good man. And at that point, I didn't engage with the conversation again. I'm sorry. Because I just really didn't know where to start. How do I start helping this
Oh.
sister now? Good man. Is that a criteria? No, please. If you want to be helped, help us to help you. You get what I'm trying to say? Help me to help you. Where do I start with looking for good man? Good man, everywhere is good man now. Any man can be good man. What do you want? And so, in the sense of that, I agree with few people that yes, there can be that inaction that makes things not work out, for somebody who is looking to be married. But I still insist that there are people who are doing the right thing, but not getting the right people. These ones know who they want, and the who that they want is not even coming. to them. Bro Franklin, can you hear us? So you're frozen. This network is not friends with Bro Franklin today. All right, let's continue. So, all right, whichever
Sorry,
one that
if
you
I might
are,
come in,
yeah.
if I might come in, when you say that there are people who who know what they want, but they still are not in a relationship, or they still are not married. I mean,
Mm,
of course, every case has to be treated on its own merit,
yeah.
and looked at individually. So
Mm,
the question then will be, what is their thought pattern as regards being in a relationship? Because honestly, I tell you, it's one thing to say, oh, I want to be in a relationship, and then it's a completely different thing on what you think about it all the time. So
mm,
if you are consistently thinking about the fact that, oh, you cannot find the right man, there are no good men out there anymore, there are no good women, all the men out there just want to take advantage of me. If that's your constant thought, you're not going to get married.
mm,
It- and it's not because it's not a curse, and
mm,
it's that's just the way it is. I mean,
mm,
even the
mm,
Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. But a lot of times we read these scriptures and we seem to just brush over it, the impossibility of the situation happening, then the situation is not going to happen.
mm, mm,
It's not there is You can go for all the prayers, deliverance, all of it. But if you, I mean, it's like me saying to someone, oh, you are so beautiful.
mhm,
But the person does not believe that he or she is beautiful.
mhm,
Does it matter what I say? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If the person doesn't believe that she's beautiful, it does not matter. So you have to
mm,
believe it for yourself. And I've had
mm,
people tell me, Comfort, in the last 6 months, that, Yomi, there are no good men out there. And
mm,
immediately they say it, I say to them, my own husband is there.
mm,
The person that I am going to marry, when our paths are ready to meet and the
Hmm.
relationship is ready to be formed, it's going to happen. That's what I
mm,
believe. And I know the kind of person I want. Another thing also is that people also have a long some people actually know what they want, and they have a long list. They want a
mhm.
guy who is rich, they want a guy who is kind, a guy who is patient, a guy who is loving. And
No,
then
you've
you
not
ask
finished the
them,
list. A guy that
are
is
you
rich and at the same time speaking in tongues.
Tall, black,
okay?
handsome.
And some people also have a guy that fears God.
Mhm,
That's also on their list.
mm,
And then I ask them the question, how many of these things on your list are you?
mhm.
Are you patient?
Good
Are
question.
you kind?
Are you
Are
rich?
you loving? Are you rich? How many of those
Africa,
things
You
are
what
people
you?
we are
are
looking for.
shaking this table. You are shaking table, me. Okay,
Yes, no,
continue.
because we want something in somebody else, but we don't want to be that person.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
you want God to have finished working on a man or on a woman, taking the person through the process, taking the person through the journey of developing himself or herself, and then give it to you, who has decided that, you know what, I'm just going to do life anyhow as life comes.
Soft
No,
life.
now. God is just, and God is fair. It can't work.
it can't work. All right,
It can't
Franklin
work.
is there. Let's see if he can get one
So,
or two words
so
into us.
sorry. So sorry. My internet is just wavy.
It's I know. So I'm sure you've heard some of what we've talked about. What's your
Yeah.
view, as per everyone getting married and not everyone getting married, really?
Well, interestingly, I feel it's less. There's less pressure for the males because I feel like because I mean, sadly, we're at the point we are at the. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so it's this side of, the world, yeah. we get to we get to choose. We get to say, oh, I want that, I don't want that, I want this, I want that. But um at the end of the day, there's still some guys who still thinks or still have the narrative that they are no good women, or they are no good. Yeah, because I have a friend. He's he's way advanced and he's not yet married, and he tells me that, oh, when I was broke, these girls were not there. I mean, he says now, okay, now I have one or two things now, and they're around me trying to, so there's that. And then there's the fact that, a lot of young guys, we I mean, first of all, we don't know what we want to an extent. um we we are quick to peak. We're quick to jump in. So a lot of times guys are, I mean, a guy can, oh, I like this one, I like that one, I like this one, and then you now sit back to, okay, can you choose? And then we're not like, this one has this thing, this one has the other one,
Mm.
this one, it's now a huge, um
Confusion,
there's
lot
now
of
that,
confusion.
yeah, a serious confusion. There's now a huge mountain of who to choose, who to be with. But I think honestly, there's a lot of pressure with the female gender, when it comes to, will I settle down, will I find someone, will I not. I know, I think largely it's because of, yes, there's the age factor, there's a lot of considerations, maybe childbirth and all that, raising a child and all that. So, but I think from a guy's perspective, we spend too much time trying to, almost like we want to make who we want to spend our life with, and it's now a huge thing for us to decide on where, which to be with at the end of the day. So I think, really, it's I would sadly say that it's easier for us to choose, because we have the upper hand, as to say, we have the upper hands in this climb. So yeah, that's just my thought.
I think that I just wanted to quickly add that because we're saying that most people know what they want, don't know what they want, but they know what they don't want. And I just wanted to say that knowing what you don't want is not bad in itself. I feel like it's a process to that journey of you getting to know what you want. So most people just stop halfway and say, I don't want a man that will cheat on me. Oh, I don't want a liar. Oh, I don't want this. But it's a journey. You've not completed the journey yet. You stopped halfway and you're saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. But if you go further and ask yourself, yes, I know what I don't want. What do I want now? So that will help you complete that journey. You know what you want. And just like Yomi was saying, you compare that list with, I want a tall. Are you tall? I'm just kidding.
Well,
Don't mind me.
well, that
But
can happen.
seriously, I want rich. Are you rich? Or are you on that journey towards creating wealth? So when you get to complete your own journey of knowing what you want, you now begin to compare what you have on your list with yourself and say, do I have these things? Can I offer these things to this person that I want? And that will make a whole lot of difference, really.
Fantastic. I didn't see that particular summary going that way. All we've been talking about is summary from last week. We've never said asking today's questions. I didn't see this coming, but fantastic angle to it. And I can see the sense in what you're saying. Truthfully, a lot of our young people uh, don't seem to know what they want. They don't start early enough. Maybe they don't get to be told, because I mean, for me, the moment I turned 18, my mom started singing, whoa, I don't have a house that a girl will stay and be doing prayer and fasting for her to marry. And me, I don't have any child that will stay at home and I'll be praying for husband to come home. Once they start coming, please settle down and prayerfully pick one. 18, the moment I turned 18. She was like, if not for education, my your mate, I have married, I'll give you back to you at your age. Oh. All that already started. And sometimes I feel like maybe some people don't have anyone who who tells them that, or who reminds them, okay, as per it's something you should think about. And someone might say, oh, am I doing that for my daughter now? Not really. But that's topic for another day.
Mama.
No, really. I don't know if I want my daughter to marry as early as I did
I
mine,
see the
but that's
pictures
topic for
though.
another day. Topic for another day.
Actually, actually, I think the process should even start a lot earlier. And I say the process being that, no, not the process of choosing who to marry, but the
Okay.
process in being able to make decisions for yourself and knowing what you want
Yeah.
should start a lot earlier. So, because we don't, especially in Africa, we don't bring up our children to think. Our educational system, to start with, does not help them to think. And then at home, we also don't teach them to think and make decisions. So I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. And a lot of times, they want to do things. Maybe they want to draw, they want to make an artwork or do something. And they say, "Oh, mommy, what should I do?" And I ask them, "What do you want to do?" I was not always like that. So let me not, I wasn't always like that.
They didn't ask me
I
what I wanted to do.
Yeah, look at talk.
I wasn't always like that,
They told us
but
what to do. And heaven
exactly, they
says
told
you
us
if
what to
you
do.
choose not to
Yeah,
do what you have been told.
exactly. So when it's now time to choose a man or a woman, we also don't know how to make that decision. It starts
Yeah.
from when they are much
Mm.
younger. It starts
Hmm.
from when they are much younger. So I ask
True.
them, I say, "What do you want? What do you want to create? What do you want to draw? What do you want to do? I'm
Hmm.
here to guide you, but tell me what you want." And then they can think through the process and come to a conclusion on what they want. So from
True.
from the early age, we need to begin to teach our children to actually think and choose the things from little things. It's a habit that they would form over time. And then when it comes to the bigger decisions, they are more comfortable to make them on their own.
Okay, because you've gone there, let's just move to one of the questions I had on ground. It's not where I wanted to go to immediately, but because your me has gone here. So what if I don't want to marry? What if I have chosen that I don't want to marry? Can't all the aunties and all the mummies just leave me alone? Can't my mother stop crying over me and saying, "Oh my God," as if I have failed? I mean, I could decide to be successful in every area of my life, have a good career, have travel the world, experience life and live life at the fullest as a single person. Can I not say I don't want to marry? Why are you shaking your head, Titi? Is it by force? if
You said,
if the
why can't
decision
all
is
the
if
uncles
the
and the
decision is
aunties?
up to me, and
Yeah.
like Yomi said, we are teaching our children to decide for themselves, can they not grow up and decide to say, I don't want to marry? Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that because you were saying why can't all the uncles and the aunties leave you? They won't leave you alone. We will not leave you alone. First of all, because love is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a beautiful thing. So yeah, it's something to desire. It's something you would want another person to experience. So you will get a lot of people asking you, and that's one of the ways you would know whether you actually chose not to marry, or it's just by accident or by a situation. When those questions start coming, you begin to ask yourself, is this what I really want or what I don't want? And if you stand in that truth of, I'm okay this way, then you know that yes, it's by choice. But me, I feel that um you can choose not to marry. Even people that have gone through stuff, that have been hurt, that have had previous bad experiences, they can decide at the end of the day that, hey, this thing is not for me, and I don't want to toe this path anymore. I just want to heal and move on, and that's okay. I mean, you can't force people to. Love is a beautiful choice to make, so you can't just force it on people. But people have different reasons why they choose not to.
Wait, I want Franklin to stop since we've got him now for a minute. Bro Frank, can a guy just wake up? And I want you to talk to us as per you're an African young man, you know. You know what it means as a bachelor, young, enterprising. African man, can you just wake up and say, look, I don't want to marry? Would it be acceptable? Oh, that network is not, it's not agreeing him at all. Okay, let's come back to you, Yomi. What do you think? Can okay, you're teaching your children now to be independent in decision making. Would you accept it if your daughter were to come tomorrow and say, or even your son were to come tomorrow and say, mommy, you see this marriage thing is not for me?
Absolutely. I don't have that. I'm okay with it. It's their decision. I'm not going to do the marriage for them anyways. So why do I want to force them to marry in the first place? The
Hmm.
only thing that I would want to be sure is that they have a full understanding of what it means to be married or not to be married. And they've made an informed decision. That's all. If I know they've made an informed decision, I'm good. And
Hmm.
even if I know they've not made an informed decision, the only thing I can do is to guide them. But if they still insist that they don't want to marry, by all means. I mean, even in my adulthood, I have said as much to some people that I have met that marriage is not compulsory. It's not compulsory. And it's the honest truth is marriage is not for everybody because some people don't know how not to be um some people don't know how not to share their space. Some people don't know how not to be, it's just all about me. Some people don't know how not to be that.
Hmm.
And if you cannot learn how not to be that, you would struggle in marriage.
Hmm.
You will struggle in marriage. So it's
Okay.
fine. Anybody who
Okay.
doesn't want to marry is fine.
Okay, I want to move to a more realistic, practical sense of it now, and that's because I know your missed status. I want to talk about remarriage. The 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 expectation for maybe widows or divorcee is easily seen, and I'm going to say it again in the African sense, that when a man loses a wife within 6 months to 1 year, he may remarry. Most men, I don't have the statistics, but I can say 80% of men will remarry within the within 6 months to 1 year. However, it's not the case with the women again. So looks like in the singlehood, sisters are disenfranchised or they are the short end of the stick. Now in remarriage, it is also again the women. Why is this like that? Why is it more of a challenge for a woman to remarry than a man?
Who gave them the short end of the stick?
Life,
They chose it now.
life.
It's Africa. Africa.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I think part of it might also have to do with the nature of a man and the nature of a woman, So I mean, majority of women think that they have to ensure that everybody around them is okay before they can be okay. So
Mm,
if a woman is a widow, like I became a widow, with my kids being 8 and 5.
mm,
um some people would say, at that point, look, I just want to concentrate on raising these kids. But I also need attention and love, and I also want somebody to have companionship with, and all of that. And it's easier for a lot of women to shut down that side of them
mm, mm,
than the man. That's why you will find that most is interesting, because I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. That's why you will find that most men will tell their wives that, look, I must die before you,
mm.
because they feel that they cannot remain here without their wives. And I think it's also because even in marriage, we the wives have we make our husbands our number one babies. We make them our number one babies. So they feel like, oh, they cannot, I mean, yes, they are macho, yes, we give them the responsibility of bringing the breadwinner and all of that. But in the emotional aspect of it, most women are stronger than guys. Most women are stronger than guys. But it's, for me, it's not cast in stone. I think it's a question of um what it's a question of choice. That's where I have come to. It's a question of choice. And I was actually going to make a comment to something that you said earlier on, that in our culture we have not gotten to the place where women can ask men out. Why not?
Yummy.
Why not?
Yeah. I'm
I
only
asked a man I
immediately
asked a man
shaking.
out to drinks the other day. It's a question of what is your motive and what do you want to achieve.
That's
Hi.
it.
Omolomo.
Why not? See, because some men are not going to move.
Hmm.
True.
Some guys are not going to move.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wait,
And
wait,
you,
Yomi, wait. Franklin is shaking his head. Frank, tell us, is it, have we really reached that stage where a woman can actually ask a guy out? I'm talking as per Africa, not where I am. Oh. This part of the world where I am is cool, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Africa, are we there?
yeah. Honestly, I think the time is right. Like, there's no better time. Okay, so let me give this one as a my personal story. Yeah, um, my fiance currently, I almost didn't marry her because
I need that story. Oh. Okay. It's gone again. Well, someone has said because a man is more God fearing and don't pretend, that's why they marry early after losing their wife. So women pretend. Lobaton. Okay. Oh. So women who don't marry early, are they pretending or they don't fear God?
so
Mm.
she had to leave
Eh,
the table and be
that's
like, okay,
another
so
another
what
another
are we
angle
doing
to the
now?
story.
Literally
But okay, I'll take you
bring
people's
my
word for it.
bring my bag and be like, okay, so
Frank,
Oh.
we're
I'm
not
so
getting you
sorry,
at
my internet. I
all.
don't know. Today is just such a day.
Sorry, there are days
Okay,
like that. There are
okay,
days
can
like
you hear
that.
me now?
Hmm.
All right. So I said she had to bring my head to like the table and be like, okay, so what are we doing now? What's the plan? What's the this? What's the that? Because it and I was acting like I was unsure when I was actually really really sure.
Mhm.
So it had to take her some level of doggedness to really give me some hard punch. I'm like, okay, so this she asked some very serious questions, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. All right. And then the next day, I had to like be like, okay, so yeah, I think we're
Be a
actually at
man
that point
and do
because
the needful.
yeah, and truly it's important that ladies come to that point where they can't actually be someone that courage because it's not beneath you. It's what you want to, and the if your sixth sense telling you that this guy also wants you, there's no stopping you from actually asking him like seriously, okay, why are you wasting my time? Like I have it, like it make it seem like he's actually in a very serious competition, and then that would put him on his toes. If he doesn't, if he seems like okay, he's not. I mean, because yes, every man is. We have that. How do I put it now? We have that protective spirit, or yeah, protective spirit to want to protect what we have. And if he feels like, okay, if he feels threatened, that's a good sign that yes, he's actually into you. And then he would actually want to man up and do what's needful. So yeah, I think it's important that ladies come to that point where yeah, they can actually make their point known and make it like put their foot on the ground and be like, okay, like I can't keep being in limbo. Like we have to come out of whatsoever. We have to leave our situationship and come to something serious. And we'll have to leave our relationship and come to something more serious than all of those. So yeah, I think it's important that ladies come up, because a lot of times guys will just be, let's just be seeing at his go as how it's going, but maybe we're maybe unsure of what we. I mean, literally, guys can just literally be blinded by a lot of things, and yeah,
Mm.
it's important
Well,
that ladies come up to.
thank God that me, I'm not single again, Sha. Maybe I would have joined the group of those that will never marry.
Actually, I think another thing also is the fact that there's actually a lot of pressure on men. So in our culture, we have connected the ability of a man to provide for his family to his self-worth and self-esteem. But I
Point.
mean,
Good point.
and and we've also made women, if a woman is not a homemaker, then she's not good enough to be a wife.
Mm.
I always refer to my
Stereotypes.
children
Stereotypes.
in my previous marriage. The roles were reversed, and my
Mm.
10-year-old at the age of 8, she could easily tell you that in my family the roles are reversed. My dad is the one who loves to cook, and my mommy does not like cooking. She would rather drive, take the car to the mechanic, wash the car, than be in the kitchen. My 10-year-old daughter can tell you that comfortably. And we had no issues with it at the time. In fact, there were so many times when we went to church and we were about to go, and then I'll be the one to enter the driver's seat. Several times I've had men walk up to me to say, madam, now you they drive. And then they'll look at my husband, they'll say, Oga, why you they sit down there now? And I'm like, how is it bothering you?
Kinitier. What's your own?
Why is it your bother that I'm the one driving? I know he doesn't like to drive. I knew that before I married him. And before he knew that driving was a hobby for me. I can
Chai,
drive no
my
matter how
sister.
tired I am, I can
My type.
drive. You get,
Just give
so
me a
we
good
had
house.
that understanding. Exactly. So we had that understanding, but there's just so much, the stereotypes that we've put ourselves in is also not helping the relationships. And they're not, these stereotypes shouldn't exist because people are different. It's how they say,
Mm.
oh, men always want respect and women want to be loved. And I ask every woman I meet, don't you want to be respected? And the guy, don't you want to be loved? So sometimes these stereotypes, and I think those stereotypes are part of the things that have made men a lot less confident in being able to step up. Also because the economic tide now favors women more than men.
Mm.
So you have more wealthy women, more financially stable women than you have guys. So if the guys are feeling like I have to be financially buoyant before I can get into a relationship or get married, and they are not, it's going to hamper their ability to want to step up and ask.
Yeah. Last week we were talking about biological clock for the woman and financial clock for the men. And spot on. That's the truth. It's because we've drawn this line, and a lot of men, young men, are under pressure. I know that it's a skit and sometimes people think it's a joke. They were interviewing some girls on the streets. How much should a man have in his bank account before he can ask you out? And you can hear the millions that these girls are asking. And then they asked the girl, you, how much do you have in your account? She said 2,000 naira. I was so like I should enter inside the phone and beat this girl. So you have 2,000. Well, I live for a man that has 10 million. And
And she's even bold to say it.
hey, auntie, she says she wants to marry up now. She wants to marry up. So who should marry down? Because if the man too is looking for 10 million, you are not in his
Yeah.
class. You two don't want to marry down. So some of these rules and things that we make so difficult, and I agree, sometimes this is the reason why some people are not married. They already have a picture in their head. The man has to be this, the woman has to be that. If it's not this, if it's not that, they will not go. Hello, God is not going to throw anybody from heaven down. If God has blessed you as a woman and the money is in your hand. I had the couple were on my love feast this month. The guy told us the only thing he went to his traditional marriage with was the cloth on his back. Because he didn't have a job. As at the time they did their traditional marriage, he didn't have a job. In fact, his wedding morning, the morning of his wedding, he went for a job interview, and that's the job he's doing now. So he got his job on his wedding day. So a sister had faith enough to say, I know you're going somewhere. It has not happened for you, but it will happen for you. I believe in you. And today they are good. They are very good. He's very good. He's comfortable. She's comfortable. They are very, very good. So sometimes we are short-minded in the way we think about some of these things. And I like, the fact that we just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I still have two more questions. I don't know how we're going to do it in 9 minutes. But I just want to look at the comments because I'm getting some comments here. Someone said, Tara said, grief affects people in different ways. It may take someone years to remarry after the death of a spouse. That's another aspect to it. We all grieve differently, and some people grieve for a long time, and for some, they are quickly able to overcome their grief. So yeah, that can be another reason why some people marry early and some don't after either a divorce or even a loss. Some divorcees find it difficult to marry. Somebody said they want it, but they are after what people will say. I guess this one is talking about the ladies. When we say ladies should ask a guy out, he said they're only afraid of what people will say. And I think this what people will say is a major challenge in Africa, don't you think? Because I know my daughter used to accuse me of it too. Say, Mommy, all this one you are doing is just because of what people will say. They say what people will say has killed so many people and has killed so many dreams. Okay. They said there's nothing wrong with asking a guy out. We have gone past that level. Okay. And this is a guy speaking. Hello, ladies. What are you waiting for? They have opened the gate for you. If you see that nice, handsome looking brother, please ask him for a drink. Yomi will soon tell us what happened with her drinks, but she'll not tell us here. She'll tell me in secret. Because say she asked a guy out to drink. Me, I want to hear what happened at that drinks. Okay, let's try to summarize this. I am still single. I want to marry, but it's not happening yet. How do I enrich my singlehood? How do I enjoy the journey to where I'm going? Because another challenge we have is that some people are so, engulfed with I want to marry, I want to marry, I want to marry. They don't have any other life. And it's even the reason why the marriage is not happening as far as I'm concerned, the way I see it. Because sometimes when you're too pressured about something, you'll be tempted to make mistakes. You might not even approach it clearly. So how do I enrich my singlehood? How do I? Who wants to start? Frank is still single. Yeah, let Uncle Frank talk. If he's not talk, allow him talk. Tell us.
All right. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. I think for me, I've always known that singlehood has been like it's a blessing because you can plan, you can you can achieve a lot of things that you set out to do. I would dare say that there are less distraction. Yeah, a lot of people just want to fly into a relationship without what figuring themselves. They have not figured themselves out. A lot of people don't even know themselves. They spend a lot of time wishing and thinking, oh, I want this, I want that, but they haven't sat back. Like, who am I intrinsically? Who am I? Like, what are my dreams and aspiration? And yes, there's a thin line. There should be a balance because a lot of people get drowned into their goals, their achievements, and then they lose out from the fact that yeah, they actually desire to to be married, but along the line they're like, to hell with it, I'm not finding the person. Because why? They haven't really found themselves. I think it's a marriage of both ends, and it's important to manage them both, singlehood and the desire to get married. But yeah, honestly, singlehood is a very beautiful thing. For me, I enjoyed, whilst I wasn't really searching as to looking out here, talking to every lady and thinking that this lady would be like the one. No, I was literally just being cool with everybody. But I had it at the back of my mind that yes, I'm still going to hit my goals. I'm still going to hit my projects, still hit my milestone. But yes, I'll still have um, that soft spot that okay, yes, I'll still have people that I'm close with of the opposite sex that would one day turn out to be, a glorious happy ending. So yeah, that's my thought. A lot of people get, it's either you are swamped with I want to get married, or you are swamped with I want to hit my career goals. I want to just I want to hit this thing, get the money, get the paper. No, I think there should be a healthy balance of both. That's my thought.
Thank you. Okay, Yomi, because this is going to be my final question. Then we'll come to Titi, and then I'll just give my final thoughts.
Okay. So I think really, the stage of singlehood can really be enjoyed in the sense that one can take that time to develop yourself, grow. There are certain things that we have learned growing up, that you become an adult and you realize that this thing is no longer serving me. I need to unlearn it and relearn. So unlearn things, learn, read books, um, you know, read books, do courses, interact, and then develop friendships. So it
Mm,
appears that a lot of people think that the person they are supposed to get married to is just somebody who they meet and then they see that is love at first sight and there's a
mm-mm,
physical attraction.
mm-mm.
The best person to marry is your friend. The best person to marry is your friend, because all the butterflies that you think are floating inside your stomach, at some point in the marriage journey, those butterflies are going to die. And the friendship is what is going to keep the marriage. So have friends, have an open mind and have friends. Make loads of friends. It's from your plethora of friends that you will now say, oh, okay, this guy or this girl, just maybe we could take it a little further. But I think there's, like you said, there's a lot of pressure that is being put, and people actually want to get married, they want to get married, but they are actually there's a resistance coming from people towards the whole thing of relationships and marriage, in terms of the pressure that they are putting themselves under. And what you resist, the more you resist, the more it's going to fly away.
Mm.
So when there's so much resistance towards a thing, it's not going to stay. So I think a lot of us should just focus more on being better versions of ourselves every day. My mentor always says that the only person I should be in competition with is myself of yesterday. That's the only person I'm in competition with. So that today I want to be better than who I was yesterday. And we're not asking you to be 100% better today than yesterday. 0.5% increase, 1% increase from who you were yesterday to who you are today, because it's a progressive journey. It's a process. We're not going to change overnight because we didn't get here overnight. So
Mm.
I think one of the most important things is for us to be able to spend time developing ourselves. Like Kingsley said, if you know who you are, then it's easier to attract the kind of person that you want. But when you don't know who you are, then you're not even sure who it is that you are going to want. And then anybody who comes along the way might just be good enough. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Titi, I have 1 more minute to go, but then tell me how I know you're
I'll
married.
not.
What do you want to add to what our beautiful single people have told us about enriching our single life?
I was just discussing with someone recently that this idea that when I hammer, when I make it, when I reach that target, when I settle, when I balance, it's a mirage. And
Mm,
I'm not saying it that you are never going to balance, you're never going to settle, you know, you are missing out on the journey. You are missing out on the joy of enjoying the process.
mm,
So don't have that mindset of when I marry, then I'll start enjoying my life. When I make my first 10 million, then, have those goals. I want to make my first 10 million. I want to do this, but enjoy the process. Don't put a hold on you enjoying your life or
mm.
being happy or living your life to the fullest until you achieve a particular goal, e.g., marriage.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sorry,
Sorry
can
to
I
say.
add something before you
Yes,
close?
yes,
I
please.
was
Yes.
just going to say, make a comment to the person who said people grieve differently, and that's very true. We all grieve
Yeah.
differently. But I
Yeah.
think what is also important is that people should also get counsel and go through therapy when they experience a loss. It's
Hmm.
really, really important. When I lost my husband, I had three different therapists to go through that I worked with on grief therapy.
Hmm.
Three different therapists before I began to heal. So I think it's really important that people should embrace counseling and therapy. It makes the healing journey a bit easier. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic addition. Great add on. And, this is why we do this conversation. I always tell you people, I strive to bring people who have lived their truth, who are living their truth. We're not here to tell you what we read from textbook. A lot of the things we're telling you here are things that God, by His mercy, has taken us through and we've experienced. And so we can come and talk to you. You're me, my sweet friend. And I met her, the husband, the late husband. So I know how sweet they both were. Two young people who came back from the UK to Nigeria. And okay, let me not finish all the story, but life happened, and her sweetheart, just suddenly died. And I remember the day I heard it. It wasn't my husband, but I was shaking all over. The whole of my body was shaking like Jesus. Ow! But here she is today, thank God, with God and with the help of people. Don't want to hear therapy. When you say therapy, they think it's for mad people. You don't have to be psychiatrical. The man not speaking English, I know fit now. You don't have to be unwell, upset
Psychiatrically.
before you go and see a psychiatrist or before you seek therapy. It helps. It's helpful. It's just the same way we talk about marriage counseling. And when you mention it, some people want to run away. Why are you running? Go and talk to someone. There's always the benefit and the advantage of a third ear, of another sense of, somebody gives you another angle to what you're saying. And that's the essence of the conversation we have here, every Sunday. You might know these things before, but you hear from another angle. You might have experienced it in one way. You come here and you learn that it can also be another way. I hope that, the things we hear here, we try to practicalize them. In practicalizing them, it will be helpful. If you're still single and you desire to marry, I pray for you that it will happen. But while you're single, please enjoy the journey. It's your time and it's your opportunity to grow yourself, discover who you are, what you really want from life, just expand your horizons, learn new things, visit places. Don't be myopic and think where you are. Think outside the box and be adventurous. Let me use that word. Up until the time where you get to the stage where you have to now think of, oh, my baby's at home, my wife is at home, oh, I need to do childcare and all of those. For now, enjoy that journey, whether you're a man or you're a woman. And if you're a lady, put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. There are lots of opportunities. You don't want to ask a guy out, go online. There are dating sites, and I know we've talked about it in this place. If you are not comfortable, go and watch our topic on love and social media, and then you see how we've given guidance on how you can safely use this matchmaking sites to get someone. I know I was saying it last week. Someone who has recently become a beautiful friend of mine is getting married for the first time in her life at age 55. And she met this man on a dating site. You would have thought that at 55 it was over for her, the dream of marriage. But she's getting married. So my time might not be your time. You might not be one of those who are marrying early or those who are marrying. I don't even know what they mean by marrying late or marrying early. Anytime you wake up is your morning. As long as you desire it and you want it and you keep working towards it, it will happen for you. And if you've decided not to marry, please don't do it out of bitterness. Don't let it be because all men are scum. All men are not scum. Don't let it be because all women are, treacherous. No, all women are not treacherous. There are still good ones out there. What you believe comes to you. What you speak comes to you. Yomi has told us today her own is there. And if there's one handsome brother watching, star, Yomi single. Okay, let me continue. Sister Mashood is also single. That one, I'm really, really marketing my sisters now. But Brother Franklin is sadly taken. Anyways, all right. So God will give you your own. Love will lead the way. We all will enjoy our relationship. You don't also have to be alone. Mix with other singles. Make friends. Make friends. The best thing that can happen to you is to marry your friend. The time first met my husband, I never saw him as someone I would marry. He was just a friend, one of those brothers in church. But we ended up getting married. So if I was not even his friend at all, I don't think the door would have been opened for him to talk about marriage. Anyways, our time is up. We'll see you again next week. Next Sunday, we'll come with another fantastic topic. You don't want to miss it. Please share. I always say share. What you share here could help someone else. That lesson might be what one sister or one brother needs. Thank you very much, Yomi, for coming. Um,
Thank you
she's
very
a
much.
woman of many, many parts. If you want her CV, contact me. I will give you her CV. I
Thank you
thank you
very
again,
much.
Titi, for always being here. We don't take it for granted. Thank you for the sacrifice. Thank you, Franklin, for making the effort despite all of the network issues. Thanks to all of you, my new subscribers. We are growing and growing and growing and growing. And if you've not joined this train, you're missing out. Go subscribe on YouTube. Thanks to all of you who also joined in and left comments. I appreciate you. You are the reason why we do what we do. And until we'll come again next week, please notice the change of time. Some people said, oh, before I came online last week, people had finished. We have changed our time from 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. to be able to carry more people along. All right, let love lead the way. Have a love-filled week, everyone.